Quelles sont les qualités physiques que vous avez développées grâce à la pratique du Wing Chun?
Since I began training in Wing Chun almost 50 years ago, I began to grow horns off the top of my head. I have devil horns that have begun to develop. No, seriously, well, that too. I think the physical qualities of Wing Chun training, if you train right and you train hard, which I think I did and do, you're going to have overall healthy, a healthy lifestyle and healthy body. For my age, I'm over 100 years old, and I look like I'm only 90. So I think that it's done some good for that. I developed flexibility you have to stretch, and when you're doing your kicks or to do your forms properly, you got to stay flexible, which is a big part of fitness. Your cardio from doing forms, from doing things like 1,000 kicks, 1,000 punches. I do the forms, sometimes I do what I call the 108, where I'll do one of the forms 108 times in a row without stopping. Those types of things develop your cardio, I used to run a lot. I don't so much anymore because my knees are as I'm getting older, it's tough on my knees. But I think that the physical characteristics, you get strength, you get a toughness, like from hitting the wooden dummy, your forearms become sort of impervious to pain and a little bit harder to bruise up. They become almost like a weapon. We say, glass head, cotton body, iron forearm. So you develop that. So I guess I have a glass head too. I didn't think about that. Certainly the body's going cotton on me. But I think you get a certain kind of strength. I have, it sounds like bragging, but you asked, I have, for some reason, and I guess it has to do with the training in Wing Chun, but for some reason I have freakishly strong forearms and freakishly strong calves, even though my legs are so skinny that it's ridiculous. But there's so much, people are amazed, like when they come and do my weight training with me, and I put all this weight on the machine that even the big guys that are way bigger than me, they can't do it. And I got these freaky strong calves that I guess it's from kicking all these years. I really don't know. But those are some of the physical attributes that I got from training Wing Chun all these years.
Ok, si pouvez-vous décrire le type d'entraînement physique auquel vous avez eu personnellement recours lors de vos années de formation?
Yes. Well, a combination of the traditional training, but that everyone does. But I've also kind of created my own training methods. Whether it's I created, for example, a pattern that we practice the footwork, where we do a certain pattern, X amount of pivoting, X amount of stepping, step sliding, step through, retreat, and all the different forms of footwork in a pattern. And then we'll do that pattern once just by itself, and then we'll add all of the yang blocks, then we'll add all the yin blocks, then we'll do the complex blocks, and then the complex attacks up and down the room, practicing all the footwork. I created something I call the 1,024 kicks, where we practice the kicks singly and in combination, every possible permutation of combining the different kicks together until you've done 1,024 kicks, which could take anywhere from 27 minutes to an hour, depending on the person's fitness level and their ability to kick. I developed these, what I call the 108 sequences, where I'll take a form like Silim Tao and I'll do it 108 times in one stance opening. So what I don't do is open the stance, do the whole form one, open, and then do it again. I don't do that. I'll open the stance and then I'll do the first sequence 108 times. Then I'll do the next sequence 108 times until I've done every move in the form 108 times. So basically, doing 108 is like doing the form twice a week for a year in 1 hour. So you get, if the average person does Silim Tao twice a week, then that's 1 year's training in 1 hour. And so I do that for the forms. So that physical training is something that I kind of developed for CRCA. I also do some weight training, not not for bodybuilding purposes, but to develop the right muscles in the right way that are needed for Wing Chun. For example, I do some chest work and I do bicep work, but I can't make the chest or the bicep too big because it would start interfering with my ability to perform the elbow line movements correctly. Once your chest gets too big or your bicep, your elbow has to start to go out, and it's not that a guy that's built can't do Wing Chun, he can, but it's detrimental to me if it interferes with the perfection of my movement. So I try to build my muscles accordingly. Like a tricep can get as big as you want, it will never interfere with anything, and it actually adds extra punch power because you have like a slide hammer effect. You punch and then your tricep kind of goes and supports the punch. So forearms, I do a lot of wrist rolling and different custom contraptions I have in the gym, mechanisms to help develop grip strength. A guy I knew that punches super hard when I was a kid told me the harder you can squeeze, the harder you can punch. And I always remembered that, and I've always put a lot of emphasis on forearm strength. So there is weight training. I used to run, as I mentioned to you, I used to run a lot, like 8 miles a day or every other day. But as I got older, now my knees are getting a little bit weaker, or at least they hurt if I run too much. So running, I've tapered off on running. But what I did instead of running for the cardio, of course I do all those kicking things I told you, that's cardio. But the kettlebells, I picked up kettlebell training from one of my students, and he brought me a set of kettlebells, and they actually give you almost the cardio of running. If you take a heavy kettlebell and you swing it, 3 sets of 30, you'll be breathing hard as if you ran, a 100-yard dash. So I get a little bit of cardio from the kettlebells. So I think between all that, that's the physical training that I do that maybe is not exactly traditional Wing Chun training, but I do all the normal stuff, the forms, working on the wooden dummy and working. If you do the pole form, even 5 times, when you're done, or the knife form, they're heavy, and by the time you're done, it's sort of a cardio workout.
Quelles sont les qualités psychiques que vous avez développées grâce à la pratique du Wing Chun?
I think that Wing Chun probably develops your confidence in more than anything, if you're talking psychological quality, in that I think on a really basic level, if I'm understanding your question right, Wing Chun psychologically probably keeps you balanced or level in the sense that, maybe in touch with reality a little bit. I'd like to think, but I may be out of touch with reality. Who knows? What country is this again? But seriously, I think that you learn things on a very primitive level in Wing Chun. Like you learn things like don't fight force with force. You learn that when you try to fight force with force, a stronger force is always going to beat you, and you learn it the hard way because you get punched in the face. It's not like when your dad said, "Son, don't fight force with force." You're, yeah, Dad, whatever. But boom, and you go, "Whoa! I think I learned that now. I'm not going to do that." So you learn things in Wing Chun, some basic principles of life, in a very primitive physical manner, and you get the lesson the easy way or the hard way. But you learn things that I think keep you balanced. So you learn don't fight force with force. So when you're at work and you're not going to go to your boss and try to tell him what to do, because force against force doesn't work. You get fired. So you have to figure out a way around it and just sort of move the boss off the line. And if you're really lucky and you have a bad boss, I guess, you make him hit himself or look stupid himself, and you just kind of helped him get there. And instead of you trying to fight force with force because it doesn't work. So I think you get that from Wing Chun, a little bit of a dose of reality. And I think that psychologically, what it does develop in you, I think, is a kind of confidence. That it's not that you think you're the greatest fighter on the planet and nobody can beat you, but you also can develop a kind of self-confidence. And it's not just because I can fight now, I learned how to fight, or I'm physically fit. That's part of it, I guess, that, you feel like I can protect myself or I can protect my loved one. If you're out on a date, you feel like I can protect this girl. I don't have to worry. I think I can take care of us. So there's a confidence. Or with me, the type of work I do, security, I've been involved in security since I was a kid. My first job was security guard at the Los Angeles Times newspaper at midnight. And since then, I've been involved in security in some form or another. And to do that job, you have to have a certain, confidence to carry yourself and be comfortable. Sometimes my job has sent me to places like Africa without a weapon and anybody else to protect me. I'm out there, and that's not to say I couldn't get killed, because I could, but at least I have the confidence to be able to do that. And then finally, and I don't know if this is really appropriate to the question, but I feel like a martial art needs to balance out three kinds of training. You need physical training, like your body, to make your body strong. And you could lift weights, or you could do 1,000 punches or 1,000 kicks, or a 108 Sudim Tao form, and you can develop your body. Mental training, which you can read books, about Wing Chun or about anything, about boxing. You can read and understand the science, or go to class and take notes, and the teacher's talking to you about centerline theory and facing and economy motion, and you learn that scientific part, and that's the mental part of it, and you have to be strong there, so that you're using the principles and everything correctly. But then I think there's also a spiritual side that has to be strong, and how you get that everybody could be different. Some people can get spiritual strength through going to church, or helping the poor, or helping the elderly, or teaching people Wing Chun and seeing their appreciation. Like that group of students, you could see that they're excited about it, and you're helping them, and that could sort of strengthen you spiritually. And the reason I think that that's important, that spiritual strength, is that when it comes time to fight, when things happen and now you're about to fight, I feel like it's valuable to you to say in your own mind, I have worth, I have value as a person, I deserve to be here, I do good for this planet, I'm important. You're not going to take my life. If one of us has to go, it's going to be you. Sorry, I mean, you started this. I don't want it. I don't want the problem, but certainly I'm not going to let you decide it's my time to go. You're going if somebody's going to go. So I think that comes with that spiritual strength. Part of it comes from, I know how to fight. I'm comfortable in my skin. But part of it, I think, comes from just knowing that you're worth fighting for. You know, I'm worth fighting for, just like you may be a patriot and feel like my country is worth fighting for. If we go to war, I'm volunteering, I'm fighting for my country. Or my family is worth fighting for. It means something to you, it's valuable to you, and you're not gonna lose. You know, if somebody steals your mom's purse, you're gonna get it back. And I think that you may find that some people don't think of themselves like that as much. And I think that it's important when it comes to combat that you have that feeling for yourself that I'm worth fighting for. I'm not losing this fight. I don't think that it's your right to take me off this planet. And so I think maybe that comes under the quality of psychological quality, because it is something that's in your mind. I guess it's in your mind, and
Yes.
it's an important factor, at least to me. Wing Chun, as I mentioned, kind of teaches you on a really primitive level the basic truths of life, things that work and don't work, and the smart way to do things, the economical way. So I take these principles of Wing Chun and I apply them on every level of my life. So, for example, I mentioned economy of motion. We say lin xiu dai da, and it kind of boils down to economy of motion, time, force, and the probability of winning, or the odds. And doing things in a manner that in Wing Chun are going to be most likely to help you win the fight or the engagement. Most likely, if you do these things, you have a better chance of winning, and you're going to do it in less time, using less force and using less motion possible. So I do that in my life. You know, for example, you know I work in a prison, and you know that I have a horse farm back home. And when I'm taking care of my horses, I have to do things in a hurry because I got to go to work, or I have other things that I got to tend to. But even if I didn't, I want to do things the most efficiently that they could be done possible. So I have my barn set up so that when I have to give this horse his grain, I can scoop and I can reach over and drop it there, and I don't have to go around a bunch of stuff and pour it. Or, you know, just everything, the way I set up, you know, their individual cells where they live, and the way that I have their doors open this way so that it doesn't interfere with this horse's movement. And I have them come in a certain order that's very logical and time-saving. And I think that quality in me to do things efficiently comes from Wing Chun, comes from the principles, the basic principles of combat, where I learned if I do this, I win more often, and I win the engagement more often, and if I do this, I get out faster, or I finish quicker, and I get maybe the same job done that I could have done in 5 moves, but I can get it done in 1 move. That's what I'm going to do. I'll take that. So whether I'm at work or in the barn or anything that I do, I try to do it the most efficiently possible, and that's a characteristic that comes from Wing Chun. And there are many more, you know, qualities in Wing Chun that do carry over into everyday life. We have a saying. There's an old saying, you know, like Yoda. We have an old saying that Yoda would say. It's called lin xiu dai da.
Lin xiu dai da, c'est économie de tout.
It's an old saying in Wing Chun, and lin xiu literally, very literally, lin means smooth, suave, lisha, right? How do you say that? Smooth. Fluid. Smooth. Lean. Smooth. Okay. Like Michael Jackson, smooth criminal. Marco. Smooth criminal. Okay, smooth. Right? Now, xiu. This xiu is not xiu ling tao xiu. It's a different word in Chinese, not the same word. Xiu means to deflect, to parry. Kun xiu ku means fist, parries fist. Xiu. Not xiu. Xiu is xiu, parry. So smoothly parry.
Dévier de manière fluide.
Dai means direct. Direct. Okay? I speak French. And da means hit. Da means hit. Like tanda, da means hit. Did you guys see Enter the Dragon? The movie? Yes. Bolo, da! Means fight, hit, da. So, lin siu, dai da. So, literally, it means smoothly parry and directly strike. So, but it has a kind of translation. It means more than that. It means economy in every way. So, it means economy of time. It means economy of motion. It means economy of force. And it means economy of the odds, the probabilities of winning, the chances of winning are increased. The better odds. So I'm going to show you with a simple technique how we can understand Lin Siu Dai Da. So let's get closed. And let's talk about the move of Tanda. Tanda, simple move, right? So let's talk about how it works with economy. So if I did some styles, and I'm not saying they're bad, but some styles will go block, hit. Okay? It's not saying it's bad, but it's not what I do. So if I do block, hit, that's 2 movements. So it's 1, 2 moves. When I do tanda, it's 1 move. Economy of motion. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I do 1, 2, it's two, not seconds, but 2 beats. So 1, 2, it's 2 beats. If I do tanda, it's 1. So it's economy of time. You can do it faster, less time. If I do this, 1, 2, it is 1, Randy hits Brice on 2. But if I do tanda, Randy and Brice hit Brice on 1. Because I'm borrowing his power. You see? Because he's still coming. So this one, only Randy hits. Which might be okay, but wouldn't it be better if it was Brice and Randy hit Brice? Probably would be better, right? That's economy of force. And finally, economy of probability. So if I go 1, 2, there's a little bit more time and opportunity for him to hit me. But if I do 1, there's less opportunity for him to hit me. So it's economy of probabilities, the odds. You see what I mean? So we always use it. So all the techniques we did today had economy of motion, economy of time, economy of force, and economy of probability. We just weren't thinking about it. But they already all had it. We always do the move that has the most economy of all those things. Okay? Okay, so economy of motion now. We're going to do something that's very economical. So here's the technique, 1, 2. Here's what I did.
Excuse me.
Here's what I did. Jump, green jump. Everybody knows Boy Quanta? Windowing? Right? So, jump, green jump. Green Chang Dai Jia. Chang Dai Jia. Uppercut, undercut. Jump, green Chang Dai Jia, uppercut,